I do believe that it's important to mention that when you're speaking about moderation, we should mention that it's the moderation is different in different countries, especially when we're speaking about Bulgaria. We are under the European framework, and this is really important. I do believe that in Bulgaria we don't speak a lot about moderation, and we have a lot to catch up. The things that for me it's really important is to mention that the moderation in Bulgarian language is something specific that we probably should talk more about. Basically this is one of the things that I think it will be really interesting to communicate what the big platforms are doing for moderation, specifically in Bulgaria. I do believe that this is like really essential topic, and probably the most important questions, because it's a starting point of any discussion on this topic. Actually, I don't believe that there is a simple answer to that. Yeah, I don't believe that social media are traditional medias, and they are not. And there is a reason, but we should go to the primary reason why we regulated print media or broadcasted media. This is because they're important for the public. They're important for shaping our views. And I do believe that in the digital age, and like we're living in a time where the majority of people are on social media. They're informing in social media. So yes, the social media and the platforms are really important for the way we're perceiving our surrounding, our environment, and they're important for our even for trying to defend our public interests. So I do believe that we probably all know the phrase from the uncle of Spider-Man is saying that with the great power comes the great responsibility.
Yeah.
And I do believe that for now, we see that the big platforms especially have the great power, but the great responsibility are probably not there yet. And this is it, not only, it's a really difficult question to deal with. And it's not only a problem of the platforms, it's a problem to the governments, to the citizens, and also all the people that are contributing and creating content. I think that in the European Union, we're trying to find a quite complex way of dealing with things, and from my perspective, it will be really interesting to see how you are seeing. Is it possible to implement everything that it's included in the DSA in a way that is going to be good for establishing a balance between fighting disinformation and freedom of expression from one side? And also I just want to mention just some of the instruments that we have in the European level, like the Code of Practice. I read them all, your reports of Facebook, and Bulgaria, there is not like a really, there is some countries that are mentioned, different projects that you're making there, like some data, but for countries like Bulgaria, we are basically more or less missing. And I wanted to ask you in this regard, do you have a possibility to give more data, even to, I don't know, for the country, because it's really important to work on the specific cases in Bulgaria, because as already Peter said, here in Bulgaria we have like a really low trust in media, but like in average in Europe, we have a good perception of the news that are coming from social media, which is like something that we have only here in Poland. It is really a specific case. So I want to ask you, do you if I could ask, actually.
Yeah.
Do you take into account this local context and how you communicate it, not only with civil societies, but also with the government? Is there a communication? So I know that the communication with our governments that is changing quite a lot these days. It's quite difficult, but still.